Welcome back to Hardball. The Tea Party comes to town this week, and with it the potential for intra-party conflict in the Republican Party. Already, Tea Partiers are not happy with deals that have been cut by the Republican leadership in the lame duck session, of course. So how will they mesh with the new colleagues in the new Congress? Mark Meckler is co-founder of the Tea Party Patriots. Sir, do you trust people like John Boehner and Eric Cantor and Kevin McCarthy, the big shots in the Republican Party?
Absolutely not. We don't trust anybody here in D.C. We know what happens when they come here and drink from the Potomac.
And what happens?
Well, basically, they forget the people back at home, and they're more
What do you think happens, though? I mean, you say you don't believe it's the water.
No, specifically what happens is they come here, and they're subject to the pressure of incumbency. The incumbents tell them how
they want to get reelected.
Well, incumbents tell them how it's going to be. These are the rules. If you want anything done, if you want to be in a committee, if you want the right parking space, these are the things you have to do, and a lot of people cave to that pressure.
And what is it that they get promised that to get along, go along, you know, the old thing. Right. But what do they get? What's he going to say to a young hotshot who just got elected in Utah or somewhere who's beating an incumbent? What's he going to say? Cool it, buddy?
He is going to say, cool it, buddy, and they do it all the time. We hear it from congressmen all the time. He's going to say, if you want to be on appropriations, look what happened to Jeff Flake, right? Here's a guy who was serious. He was a serious conservative. Boehner made sure that he wasn't on the committee he wanted to be on. He was too serious. And so these guys do get an immense amount of pressure. That's part of the reason we're here, is to make sure that they know they have the backing. If they do the right thing, we're going to back their play.
Let's take a look at health care. They're going to have a very dramatic vote on January 12th. We just heard about it. That's week after next. What's that going to tell you?
I think it's going to tell us how the Republicans are going to stand. It's going to tell us a lot about the
But voting to kill health care in the House won't kill it in the Senate, won't kill it in the White House. The bill will still work. Would you like the symbolism of it?
I do like the symbolism of it, and the bill won't work. They'll defund it in the House, and they'll kill it that way.
Okay, let's talk about something you guys don't like, and nobody in Congress likes. It's called the debt ceiling bill. It's one of those things that nobody pays any attention to. It's like hanging chads. You don't pay attention to it until there's a close election. Well, every year the Congress has to pass something called debt ceiling extension, which is up about $13 trillion. They got to raise it a notch to $13.5 to $14 trillion. If they don't do it, the government defaults because the government can't make payments beyond that amount. Where were you going to recommend that your Tea Partiers vote in the House on debt ceiling extension?
Well, it's not my recommendation. This is what Tea Partiers across the nation are telling us. They recommend that they vote against the raising of the debt ceiling. At some point, you said they have to raise it every time. Is there a rule somewhere that says they have to raise it?
What are the consequences of not raising it?
I think the consequences are we shut down certain programs, we cut spending, we do things that every family is required to do.
But if the government can't make payment on its obligations, what happens then?
Then they cut spending. And there is money to be made from cutting spending.
You mean that night the government's about to default, they go around selling off properties, or how do they make that money up? They can't raise taxes overnight.
Chris,
no, I'm serious. I'm asking a serious question.
What you're
What's
talking
the next
about
step?
Is created crisis. In other words, you say that night, but they've known this for a long time.
So are you going to?
This is what they do every time.
The Tea Party is going to warn the House Republican leadership, you're not going to get the 218 votes, so you better start getting rid of federal programs because we're not letting that debt go up.
Well, I mean,
are you saying that the
it's
debt
not
will
our
not
choice
rise?
Whether the debt goes up? We don't have the vote, but we're definitely going to say that we don't want them to vote for that debt ceiling to go up. Absolutely.
But you're hoping somebody else will, though.
Absolutely. We hope that they vote not to raise the debt ceiling.
And then what happens?
Then they cut programs and they start to get real. It's going to take some real pain to fix this nation, and until the folks over here in the Capitol get serious about it, we're on a dangerous path.
So you're willing to push it right to the edge?
Absolutely.
And what consequences are you willing to accept? The government shutting down?
Absolutely.
And what happens when the government can't make its payments?
Well, again, they cut spending. You're acting like it's a one-sided equation. It's not all about borrowing. It's about cutting spending. Until these guys get serious about cutting spending, we're on an unsustainable path. Everybody agrees with that.
Do you think Newt Gingrich did the right thing taking on Clinton this way?
You know,
it'll work for him.
It might work for him.
How will it work for you?
But again, he's not an elected official right now. How it works for us is our job is just to reflect what the Tea Party believes.
How are you going to do it better than Newt did it when he shut down the government?
It's not our job to compare to Newt. Our job, my job.
No, but how are you going to shut the government down and not get blamed for it?
Well, the difference is the public is an entirely different sentiment now. You just saw a Tea Party revolution.
We'll see. When the government stops, we'll see if the public says good work or who the hell did this.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks
for coming in, Mark Meckler, the Tea Party. We see where the battle lines have been drawn. Tea Party Patriots here. When we return, let me finish with what Republicans need to watch out for as they take control of the House. They could make a big mistake. Too many speeches, not enough action. You're watching Hardball on MSNBC.